Okay, hello everybody, welcome to this Verbaling class. My name is Teacher Amy and this class is a writing class. Today we're going to be doing a bit of free writing. So I have a series of random topics and random stuff for you to choose from, which will give you a wide choice of things to spark your imagination. So you can use this time to practice any kind of writing that you like, and the ideas should hopefully flow out of you with these wonderful random topics that I'm going to give you in a moment. So do come along in if you'd like to practice your writing. What we will do is spend about the first half of the class writing, depending on the number of students, and then the second half of the class we will correct your work and I'll explain to you as much as I can in the time we have about your mistakes so that you can take it away with you and hopefully not make those mistakes again. Okay, before we get started, what I will do is let you know that there are 2 pages you might like to have a look at some point during your time here on Verbaling. The first of which is my Facebook page. That's the link there. Do click on that to just basically keep in touch with me and the students who come to my classes. You can ask a question, make a comment, share things that you find interesting, view the things that I share, or the other students, so it's a good place to keep in touch. The other page, which is the second link of the 2, is my Verbaling teacher page. So you can have a look at that to access several important things. Firstly, you can find out about me, who I am, what I do, what kind of a teacher I am, that kind of stuff. You can also see upcoming classes. So this is a class that we're in right now, and if you want to get automatic notifications of these classes, then do click on the blue button and that will help you out, I'm sure. You can also check out my timetable if you want to see when the classes are and also when I have spare slots for private tutoring. And private tutoring is sometimes useful for specific things. So if you want to practice your speaking and get a bit more feedback, if you want to have your essays corrected, if you've got an exam coming up, then do take advantage of a private tutoring session with me or one of the other lovely Verbaling teachers. All of the teacher pages are the same, so what I'm telling you will also be applicable to any of the other teachers. And if you do have any questions, feel free to write to us using the Verbaling messaging feature, which you'll also find there on the Verbaling teacher page. So, as I said before, today is a writing class. You can use this in any way you like. It's a really good opportunity to practice some grammar that you've just learnt, to really expand your writing. If you're already quite good at it, maybe go for it, sort of test yourself, test your boundaries a little bit. So today's topic is random. You're about to find out what it will be. Well, there's a few choices for you. So let's say hello, first of all, to Raphael. Hey, Raphael.
Hey, Amy.
So Raphael, you need to try and forget about the class that we just had. Otherwise, you'll end up writing about dead bodies, which you might want to. You might want to. But how are you doing? Have you been practicing your writing? Do you practice your writing a lot, or is it the weakest of your areas, or what would you say about it?
I can't consider my writing is one of the weakest areas I have because I'm not used to write. I just single reports of my job related with my job, but not to. But these are really specific topics I write and
Yeah.
issues, but
Mhm.
nothing really literary.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, I have to say, from my experience, Raphael, you write very well, even in the literary sense. I always enjoy reading what you write. You use very interesting language, so it's a pleasure for me to read it. So keep going with it. You're obviously a great writer.
Thanks.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with today. Welcome, and let's say hello to Heidi. How are you, Heidi?
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. How is all your studying going? Have you been studying hard?
Today, not so much. It's still 9 a.m. So.
It's it's only 9 a.m. for you, right? You're in Japan, aren't you, Heidi?
Yeah, but it's very hot.
Ah,
Very
you.
hot.
What's the temperature?
9 a.m.
Yeah, that's the time. But how hot is it? What's the temperature?
I don't know. I don't have any
You don't have a thermometer. It's just hot.
Very hot. Suddenly it became hot. Until a few minutes ago, it was very comfortable, but suddenly it became hot.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not good with the heat. Being British, I'm not really used to it. So I feel for you, Heidi. All right, well, hopefully this will take your mind off it with you doing some writing. So we'll get started, guys. What seems to often happen is that people come in at some point later on in these classes, but what I will make sure that I do is prioritize you two. So I'll make sure I give you a good 20-25 minutes. Okay, so guys, access the Google Drive and you should find the document there. And I'll just give it to you in the Google chat box as well, just so that we can see the topics. If you want, you can write straight onto this document, or you can write somewhere on your computer and copy and paste after. It's up to you. So see if you can get to the document and let me know if you're having a problem, and I'll see what I can do. Let's just give you permission. How are we going, guys? Are we there? Right, so what I'm going to do is I'll share the document onto the screen so that we can read it together. We're just going to read through the topics that we've got there, and what I do say is that you don't have to choose one of these, but I like to give you a bit of a sort of a starting point. So you might see one of these and think, that sounds interesting, and you can go for that. Otherwise, you can write about something of your choice. So free writing, basically what I want you to do today is to just sort of write a stream of consciousness. See what comes out of your brain. This is a technique that writers use, I believe. I'm not an expert, but I believe, for sort of getting through barriers in their writing or coming up with unusual ideas. If you just let yourself go and write anything you like, keep an eye on your vocabulary and grammar, or the alternative is to check at the end. So do choose one of these topics. Alright, so before we start, Heidi, we're just going to read them so that we can everyone understands what to do. Raphael, could you read number 1?
Write about your relationship with food.
Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you have any questions. Heidi, could you read number 2, please? She's busy writing already.
Yeah.
Would you?
If you could pass a law right now, what would it be and why?
Thank you. Raphael, this one? This is supposed to be came. There we go.
Write about the time you came closest to death.
You'll have inspiration from the previous class there, Raphael. This one, Heidi?
Write about somebody you love.
Raphael?
What are you addicted to? How does it affect your behavior?
Great. Heidi?
Write about the time you felt betrayed.
Good. Raphael?
Write about moving house.
So in that pronunciation, Raphael, write about moving house. We tend to put the emphasis on house, okay? Heidi?
If you came into a large amount of money, what would you do with it?
Yep. Raphael?
Write about a phobia.
Heidi?
What is your earliest money?
And then the last one, Heidi, was write about your relationship with, and I've forgotten what it said at the end. Oh, with food. I think this is the one you're writing about, yeah? I'll just put it back there for you. All right, guys, I think you know what to do. I'll be here all along, so if you do have any questions, just let me know, and off you go.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello, everybody. Good
Welcome.
Thanks.
We've just started. Raphael, you can access our shared documents either on the Google Drive app on the left-hand side, or in the Google chat box. There's a link that you just need to click on. And what we've got is a list of, I don't know why it still says news stories, because I remember deleting this, but I'm going to change that now. And we're actually writing about random stuff today, so there's several topics that you can choose to write about. So if you choose one of these, and you can write whatever you like, and you should have about 20 minutes. And if you do have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put the instructions now in the chat box for you.
Okay.
Hello, Kako. Welcome.
Thank you, teacher.
What we're just doing is writing about one of the topics that are on this shared document, which you can find in the Google Drive. So go ahead and access it if you can. If you have any problems, let me know, and you should have about 20 minutes to write something, okay?
Okay, may I ask, may I choose any one of them?
Yes, or anything else you like.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I'll just give you permission just a second. There we are. Hello to Giulietta. No, she's gone again. Hello to Abdallah. Are you there?
Yes.
Welcome to the class, Abdallah. If you'd like to, you're very welcome to join us with writing. We're just choosing one of the topics here in this document that you can find on the Google Drive or access with the link. And I'm just going to try and do it in order of arrival so that we make sure that those who arrived first get it corrected. But you should have time if you start now. We've got about sort of 15-20 minutes to write something.
Okay, great.
Just let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm gonna switch my device.
Okay, no problem. We'll see you in a moment.
Yeah. Can access the document here, the iPad.
Okay, sure thing.
Be right back.
Sorry, I cannot find the link.
Take a look in the Google chat box. The Google chat box is the first icon you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen, a blue box with white lines. If you click on that...
I see it, but I don't find the link there.
Okay, I'll repaste it for you, no problem. Just a second. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello to Mark. Are you there?
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Hello, Mark. Welcome. Welcome. Would you like to do some writing with us?
There is some problem if I stay in the class.
No, you're welcome to join us. You just have
Because I'm
slightly
leaving.
less time. You're leaving?
Okay. I stay in the class, but if I don't participate, it's doesn't a problem. Okay, it's not a problem. I'm from Brazil. I'm 16 years old. Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Hello, Fatima. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Just if you'd like to do some writing, Fatima, hopefully we'll have time to go through all of this checking-wise. So what I'll get you to do is to access the Google document. You'll see the instructions in the Verbling chat box, and choose one of the topics and write whatever you like. and I'll try and get through everybody so that I can get through the corrections to the end. So you'll have about 20 minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Fatima. Fatima.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm not Fatima. I'm her daughter.
Our daughter.
Yes, my mother wants to come to class.
Okay. Okay, very good. Where are you from?
I'm from Iran, Persian.
What? Argelia. What is her
Just sorry
culture?
to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt Mark and Fatima. But guys, could you chat through the Verbling chat box, please? Because I would like everyone to be able to just concentrate on their writing for the moment. So if you want to exchange words, just type it on the chat box, and everyone can continue concentrating.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Could you repeat again? What should I do right now?
Just, have you managed to access the documents?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so you should see a list of topics at the top of the page, yeah? The first one's write about your relationship with food. Can you see them?
Oh, okay. Write about my relationship.
So you can choose any of those, Fatima, and write whatever you like, okay? Just type your name somewhere in the document and write, and then at the end of class we'll correct it.
Okay, okay. So my mother has to do it.
Your mother has to?
Yes.
You can do it. It's okay. You can do it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So Heidi, as you're one of the first to arrive, you've got about 5 more minutes, okay? And then we'll correct.
Excuse me, Amy.
Yes.
Just a question. Wonder if this moving house is it refers to this kind of trailers.
Moving house simply means when you moved, you changed where you live. So it could be that you used to live in, I don't know, a city, and then you moved, and now you live somewhere different.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Okay, Heidi, if you're just about finished, I'd like to go through your one first, please. Are you ready?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just unbold that so that I can bold the things that I correct and it's clearer. Could you read it, please?
Write about your relationship with food. When I was a child, my family was big. My mother needed to cook for 8 people, and we were living close to a beach. We often ate seafood. It was for free. Then my mother was glad to cook seafood. But for me, seafood was very boring. I wanted to eat meat or some dairy product. After leaving my family, I started eating spaghetti, beefsteaks, etc., like westernized dishes. Since I started learning foreign language, I've traveled abroad. I was very interested in many local food in their countries. I tried eating them. French cuisine like an omelette, bouillabaisse, Italian like spaghetti, tiramisu, pizzas, Spanish like tortilla, tapas, etc. Finally, I went to Tunisia and I ate couscous. They were very delicious, but now I love Japanese dishes for the most. I cook sushi, tempura, miso soup. There are many kinds of Japanese food. I'm happy.
Thank you, Heidi. That's a really interesting answer to this this little topic. Well done. All right, so you've used great food vocabulary as well. When I was a child, my family was big. My mother needed to cook for 8 people. Is that including your parents, Heidi?
Yeah.
Wow, so you have six children, is that right?
I know, 5, but a grandparent.
Wow.
4 kids, but a grandparent of my parents.
Oh, what a great family. We were living close to a beach, sure, or you can say we used to live.
Oh, we used to.
Yeah, but that's okay. Both are fine. We often ate seafoods. Maybe you need to put here because it was for free. And then my mother was glad to cook seafood, or simply and my mother was glad to cook seafood. Or here we can put it, because we already mentioned seafood, right?
Yeah.
But for me, seafood was very boring. Yeah, that always happens, doesn't it? The thing that you have all the time becomes boring. We can put a full stop there, because then you're going to say something different. I wanted to eat meat or some dairy products. After leaving my family, normally we say leaving home, Heidi, after leaving home.
Okay.
Yeah, you mean when you got old enough to go and live in your own house, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I started eating spaghetti, beefsteaks, like westernized dishes. Since I started learning foreign languages, I've traveled abroad. I was very interested in many local foods. I would say in different countries. Different countries. Because there...
Food is uncountable, no?
Okay, so yes, you can say food or foods, but because you've got many, you need to put foods.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So it's up to you. Or you could say a lot of local food if you want to change that. In different countries. So full stop. I tried eating them. French cuisine, like an omelette. Omelette? With an E.
Omelette, okay.
Bouillabaisse. I've never tried that, but I've always found it sounds so... Is it nice?
Bouillabaisse is fish soup.
Yeah. I think it sounds delicious. Is it delicious? Did you like it?
Very delicious.
I have to try that one day. Okay. All right, so what you've got, you need to split it up so that your listing is clear. So if you're going to use French, Italian, and Spanish in the same sentence, you need to split those up with a semicolon rather than a colon, and then you can use commas in between. So you've got French cuisine, like an omelette, bouillabaisse, Italian, like spaghetti, tiramisu, pizzas, then here you put another semicolon, Spanish, like tortilla, tapas, etc. Finally, I went to Tunisia and I ate couscous without any.
Oh, maybe yes.
I love couscous actually. It's so simple but so delicious. They were very delicious, but now I love Japanese dishes the most.
The most.
Do you know what, Heidi? Japanese food is my favorite food. I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you.
But I've never been to Japan, so maybe I've never actually tasted real Japanese food. But the Japanese food here in New Zealand is made by Japanese native people, so I think it's similar, but I really love it, so I agree with you. And well done. Great writing.
Thank you.
All right, now let's see. Do we have Raphael back? He's disappeared, I think. So next in the line is Kako. Are you ready, Kako? Oh, wait a second. I missed a last sentence. I'm sorry.
I am finishing, teacher.
All right, so just finish off if you can, Kako, and I'll just do this last sentence. Sorry about that, Heidi. I didn't see it. So I cooked sushi. Tempura, doesn't that have an M? I think it has an M. Miso soup is just 2 words because it's a type of soup. There are many kinds of Japanese food. There are many kinds of Japanese foods, or the same as we had before.
Yeah.
There is a lot of... Let's put that. I'm happy. Me too. Great work. Well done, Heidi.
Thank you.
All right, Kako, are you ready? No? What I might do is see if Emmanuel is ready. Emmanuel, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so Kako, I'll let you finish off and I'll go to Emmanuel now, okay? So Emmanuel, let me just make this a bit bigger. And could you read it, please?
Sure. About moving house. Moving house gets interesting when you try to figure out how to take all your stuff you didn't know you have. When I moved my first time, I didn't have anything. I just had a couple of bags, and little by little, each time I moved from one apartment to another, I started to need a bigger truck each time. One day you are thinking you don't have anything to take with you, but in the 3rd time I moved, I realized I have more things than I thought. You start buying stuff you need, like a bed, a table, a couple of chairs, and then a bike, some desk, and things like that. At the end, it is a real mountain of stuff, and some of them you didn't notice at all. I missed that. Because all of them are already part of your life. And, well, that's it.
All right, super duper. So sometimes what happens when you read it back is that you notice some things that you made mistakes on, which is why I get you to do that if we have time. So well done, Emmanuel. Good work. Let's see if we can correct it. So moving house, I love your first sentence. Moving house gets interesting when you try to figure out how to take all the stuff you didn't know you had.
Okay.
You don't need to say your stuff because you're talking about the knowledge of having it where you've got you. And I think this is so true. It made me laugh because I've had this experience myself. When I moved, because past tense, right? The first time. Or you can even put for the first time and then it's even better. When I moved for the first time, I didn't have anything. Absolutely. I just had a couple of bags. I didn't have anything. Maybe I should put here really, only because if you say you didn't have anything, that means literally you've got nothing, right? But if you say I didn't have anything really, then it sort of allows for a little bit of extra. So I just had a couple of bags, comma, or new sentence. Little has 2 T's, okay?
Okay.
But I like the expression little by little. That's great. And little by little, each time I moved from one apartment to another, I started to need a bigger truck. Absolutely. Or simply, you could say I needed, because if you are talking about each time, then it's not really starting to need. It's like each time you needed a different truck, a bigger one, a bigger one, a bigger one, right?
Right.
Is that clear? I want to make sure you understand it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. One day you're thinking you don't have anything to take with you. Let's put a comma. One day you were thinking you don't have anything to take with you, but in the third time I moved, I realized I had more things than I thought. So when you say one day, you're meaning really the first time, aren't you, Emmanuel?
Yeah. Well, what I try to say is that you are in that moment when you realize, but you don't notice you have things because
Yeah, I understand.
and
I think what you want to say is at first. At first.
oh yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah. So at first, and then what you mean is when you think, oh, I've got to move house, the first thing you think is, oh, it will be fine. I haven't got that much stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so you're thinking you don't have anything to take with you. Good, true. But the third time, you don't need the in. The third time I moved. Usually when we're writing, we do tend to write out the actual letters for this type of stuff. So it's more common to see that. Okay, the third time I moved, I realized I had more things than I thought. Absolutely. You start buying stuff you need, like a bed, a table, a couple of chairs, and then a bike, some desks, if you've got and things like that. At the end, in the end, it is a real mountain of stuff, and some of them you didn't notice because all of them are already a part of your life. Absolutely, you don't need this, them here. Get rid of that. Well done. Hardly any corrections there, Emmanuel. Excellent work, and it's so true.
Thanks.
You made me smile with that. How many times have you moved house, Emmanuel? Lots?
Well, maybe 6 times.
6 times? Not
Yeah.
too bad. Yeah, I completely feel for you because I actually hate moving house. All right, well done. Great writing. Okay, Kako, are you ready yet? Are you ready? Silence.
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Could you copy and paste
Yeah.
into the document, please?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Here.
Yep. There we go. All right. And Abdallah, I'll be with you before the end of class, okay? Just after Kako.
Okay.
All right, so let's have a look here. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, off you go, please. If you could read it, Kako.
Yeah. About phobia. People generally associate phobia, a word coming from the Greek language, with a strong feeling of frightening that left someone scared, paralyzed, and unable to react positively when exposed to a stimulus, interpreted by the brain as a danger or menace. The brain in this situation cannot distinguish whether the menace is real or illusory, and the reaction can be much varied, but in general, the reaction is disproportional. Sometimes bordering the limits of the ridiculous, and not coherent with the risk if it really exists. For example, Someone can be so courageous at facing a wild beast, but melted, afraid at the sight of a cockroach. When the sensation or the feeling of frightening brings the people to a level of terror, the consequences for their life can be really hazardous. And the case only can be solved with psychological or even psychiatrical help.
Well done, Kako. My goodness, you've used some good vocabulary here. Excellent work. Well done for really pushing yourself. So let's have a look. People generally associate, because people is treated as a plural in English. Yeah? Cool.
Associate.
Yeah. Associate phobia, a word coming from the Greek language. I'm learning something here too. With a strong feeling. A filling is the thing that you have at the dentist when you have toothache, right?
Perfect.
Of frightening. Okay, frightening is actually the adjective. So you either need to say being being frightened or fear simply. A strong feeling of fear.
Fear.
Right?
Fear. Yeah.
That left, well, if you're talking about a general situation, which you are because you used the word generally, you need to use the present tense, okay? So that leaves.
Leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, teacher.
No problem. That leaves someone scared, paralyzed, and unable to react positively when exposed to a stimulus. Stimulus doesn't have an O. Stimulus interpreted by the brain as a danger or menace with an E. Dennis the Menace. Very good. Nice sentence. The brain in this situation cannot distinguish whether with an H. And then we've got here menace again. Whether the menace is real or illusory. Beautiful word, Kako. Well done. And the reaction can be much varied. I would say just varied because the reaction can be. You can either say can be varied or you can say can vary a lot if you want to sort of make it stronger. But in general, the reaction is disproportional, sometimes bordering the limits of the ridiculous. Beautiful sentence. And not coherent with the risk. Maybe I'd put this in brackets if it really exists. What I would say here at the end is at all, just to emphasize that point. Okay, for example, someone can be so courageous at facing a wild beast, or someone can be very. So is okay, I'll leave that there as a possibility. But melted afraid. But melt, usually, Kako, we use the word melt in a positive sense. So to melt of fear doesn't give you the right idea because it's a weird positive connotation and connected with fear. So instead of melt, can you think of anything else you'd prefer to use? Something of fear.
Melts of fear.
Instead of melt, because melt doesn't really work very well there. Shall I tell you the one we usually use, the kind of boring, the boring cliche is to freeze in fear, okay? Or to be frozen with fear.
Freezing fear. But freeze is the freezing fear.
Yeah.
Frozen with fear.
But someone, hang on a second, but someone can be very courageous at facing a wild beast, but freeze in fear or become frozen with fear. There we go. At the sight of a cockroach. I'm one of these people, by the way. When the sensation of fear, so this is the same mistake, but you brings the person to a level of terror. the consequences for their life can be really hazardous, and the case can only be solved with psychological or even psychiatric help. There you go. I'm very impressed with that, Kako, because you've really pushed yourself, used some great vocabulary and some complicated sentences, and actually your mistakes are pretty much just a few things that happened repeatedly. So the fear as opposed to frightened or frightening, the spelling of menace, a couple of other spelling ones, but generally some really good grammar. Well done.
Thank you for your help, teacher.
No problem. All right, Abdullah, I'm going to go to you in the last 4 minutes. Could you read out what you've got, please? I think it's down here.
Yeah. Okay. The first time I felt betrayed. It seemed like I live in the I live in bestial world, and how it is very hard to trust anyone. But by the time I tried to change this conclusion, because all my fingers it's not same, and also people are not same. Everyone have different moral and values, and I think it's wrong to judge on all people through one experience.
All right, Abdullah. So this is a tricky topic that you've chosen, because to be betrayed is quite a complicated experience, I think, but you've done well, so let's have a look at it. The first time I felt betrayed is absolutely perfect, but because we're talking about the past tense, we've got betrayed, right? We need to keep this part of the sentence in the past as well. So what we need to do is take out that and put it seemed like, okay? Seemed like I lived in a bestial world. And I think instead of how, all you need to put here, it was very hard to trust anyone. I really like the way that you've put a bestial world. That's a very cool word to choose, an interesting one as well. But by the time, what do you mean here, Abdullah? In time, I think you mean. As time passed?
No, I want to say here, by the time I change, through or during the time, after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so by the time is a bit off-putting because we actually use that particular expression in a different way. I'll talk about that in a sec. But what you mean here is as time went on, or with the passing of time. There's quite a few ways to say it, but those are 2 of them. I tried to change this conclusion because all my fingers is plural, so we just need to put the plural here, aren't. And then we usually say aren't the same, okay? And also people aren't the same, very good. We can put a full stop because we don't want to make it too complicated with the sentence. So everyone has, for some reason everyone is treated as a singular. Everyone has different morals and values, and I think it is wrong to judge. To judge simply, you don't need a preposition after judge. To judge all people by. If you judge someone by something, by one experience. Really nice, short, but very nice little description about the feeling of betrayal. Well done, Abdullah.
Thank you. But sorry, I want to ask, what's the difference between the treason and betrayed?
But what's the difference between betrayed and what?
Treason or
treason.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? betrayed and treason. Okay, and basically treason is actually a specific crime. It's when you betray your country. Then you can be charged with treason. But betrayal is something that could happen to anybody. You could betray your friend, not necessarily your country.
Okay.
All right, that's the difference. Let me just explain this one here. By the time, I'll give you an example. By the time I got home, I was soaked from the rain. Or by the time I had finished my breakfast, my sister had... so when we use by the time, what we mean is that you've taken a long time to do something, and when you finally finish it, something else happens. Okay?
Okay.
So it's slightly different from what you wanted to put here. But overall, all four of you have done supremely well today with these random topics, so congratulations, well done everybody. Don't forget to have a look at these corrections later on, just so that you can go over the mistakes that you made and try not to repeat them again. So well done, and I will say bye to you, let you go to your next class, or to bed, or out, or wherever you're going next.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank
Alright, take care everybody.
Thank you
See
very much,
you later.
Have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thank
Amy.
you.
Bye.
Bye.